August the 5th, 2020. We want to give everyone an update on our court hearing this afternoon. I want to pose to us some thought-provoking questions in the outset of this update of our ongoing legal battle. Question number 1. Should Amram and Jochebed had murdered their baby boy, Moses? It was the king's commandment. It was Pharaoh's law in Egypt. Should Daniel had stopped praying for 30 days? It would have saved him from the den of man-eating lions had he just have stopped praying. Should Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego have just bowed, you would have saved everyone else the time of sitting out in this blazing hot sun on the plains of Shinar as the king said, bow. You're making everybody else look bad when you still stand while we bow. Should Moses had refused to set the slaves free from Egypt? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge refuse to fire their muskets and give the shot heard round the world, beginning the Revolutionary War, defeating Britain and giving to us these great United States of America? No. 1,000 times no. Each of these individuals were called on by God to stand up against evil so that we can have the freedoms we enjoy today. J.R.R. Tolkien said, J.R.R. Tolkien is the author of The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings. There are people that are fascinated. They're great followers of The Lord of the Rings. Many movies and books about this. He said, it is not our part to master all the tides of the world, but to do what is in us for the succor of the years wherein we are set. Uprooting evil in the fields we know, so that those who live after us will have clean fields to till. What weather they shall have is not our rule. I can't determine what kind of battles my children and grandchildren are going to fight long after I'm gone. My predecessors could in no way determine what I was going to fight today. However, I have to uproot the evil in the fields that I know so that those who live after me will have clean fields to till. So today, because of unconstitutional, unlawful orders, we were arrested numerous times over the past 150 days. Heavily in March, heavily in April. The charges have never gone away. The bail money that I have put out has never come back. The court appearances are now starting to stack up and roll weekly, one of which was today. So we go to court. Of course, you can't come in here without your mask. So we go through the whole argument. We're not coming in then. But I have to go in or you're going to hold me in contempt of court. Well, that's what the judge wants. They want to hold you in contempt of court because you're not in his courtroom. Well, you won't let me in your courtroom. Well, you can come in, you just have to put on a mask. Just stop praying, Daniel. Just bow, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Just put on your mask. Oh, is it as bad as all that, Pastor? You are bearing false witness. For me to put on a mask is a false witness. It says I'm safe from the virus. One of the witnesses who went in the courtroom today as a mockery wore a wedding dress tulle over her face. It's like a fishnet, just as a mockery. You see the pastor standing out in the sun for an hour and a half, but we get to go in because we're safe. We have complied. We have our fishnet mask on. You see how evil this is? You're bearing false witness. I bear false witness to you, telling you you're safe because my mask is on. Number one, the masks are the precursor to the mark. The mark will be a vaccine that will have the ability to track all of humankind. They're working on one right now. The government is. The Antichrist is going to rule religiously, politically, and militarily. This is the precursor to it, the mask. So do not bear false witness. It's necessary that you put the mask on. Necessity is the plea for the infringement upon all human freedom. It is the argument of tyrants. It is the creed of slaves. So what happened? Well, I was held in contempt of court because I was not in the courtroom where my legal team represented me. Jeff Wittenbrink, lead counsel Judge Roy Moore, a host of other attorneys are working on this daily. So now we have large fines or 6 months in jail if we don't pay the fines. So what do? We were found guilty today on what we were charged for and fined, and we have a prison sentence. So what are we doing? We are appealing that. In other words, we lost today, but we never lose. Rosa Parks said, "You must never be fearful about what you are doing when it is right." So even when we lose, we win. Even when we lose, we win. We won today. However, the judge, Lonnie Miles, the prosecuting attorneys, they thought they won. You never win when you touch God's anointed. We are God's anointed. We are standing up for our religious and civil liberties and preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. We will never stop doing that. If the masks are so important, then the legislative branch needs to pass a law legislating masks are lawful. They will never do that because there's no science to say the mask works, and you can never get bipartisan votes to have a majority to pass a law like that. It will never happen. So you have executive branches like governors and mayors who are unlawfully, unconstitutionally overstepping their bounds and creating unlawful orders. And here we are as God-fearing Americans bowing down to these orders, which are unlawful. Well, brother judge, brother prosecuting attorney, and mayor, there's some of us that'll never bow. How does that make you feel? How weak are you that you cannot force us to bow? Just how irrelevant are you that you have no power over us? You can't bleed us financially because we've already shoveled out dollar after dollar after dollar to stay out of prison. You can't bully us out. We told you when you arrested me, my assistant would step up, my second assistant and my third assistant in succession. How irrelevant are you becoming? You see, this is what happened when judgment is backwards and truth is fallen in the streets. You become irrelevant. And then we have anarchy, none of which makes for a good society. So today, our court appearance, large fines, plus imprisonment, but we appealed. We still haven't paid the fine that they've asked us to pay today. We still are not in prison that they have told us we will have to go. And we're appealing it, which we have 60 days to do in the 19th Judicial District Court, where only our omniscient God knows if we will win or not. You can't figure on anything anymore. So keep us in prayer in Baton Rouge. I'm fighting for you. We're fighting for religious and civil liberties, your freedoms. We want our nation back. We want our churches back. We want masks off of our children. We want our schools open. We want to live free. God bless you in Jesus' name.